everyone. My name is Laidlaw. I've been a part of the Hotham Race Club since I was 5 or 6. I'm currently a Europa Cup World Cup skier, and today I'm going to show you how to set up skis and maintain them throughout the winter. I have met and worked with lots of World Cup service guys over the years, so I've gained their knowledge on how to set up my skis and maintain them throughout the winter. So today I'll be sharing my knowledge from what I've received over the years. So when I get a new ski, I use a grass brush or steel brush to clean the base. And when the skis are coming from the factory, they can be quite dirty. So I'll brush them out a few times to get the dirt out. And then I will do a hot wax. So I'll cover the ski evenly. So when waxing skis, I like to not have the iron too hot and only going over the ski maximum 2 to 3 times, because we don't want to burn the base. And go slowly and evenly across the ski. So hot wax is pretty much just to get the dirt out of the ski when you get it from the factory or the shop. So we've just done a couple passes, and then you just want to scrape the wax off straight away. So when we're scraping the ski, we want to have our pressure evenly, not too hard on one side. We want to not press too hard as well, otherwise you can damage the base. So we're just even pressure, and after that we use a bronze brush to get the rest of the wax out and dirt. After that we use a nylon brush just to polish the ski, and after that we'll do another layer of wax. The ski, we've done our brushing, hot wax, and then we've put on another layer of wax. We want to put on one side we want to just put some painter's tape like this, to protect the base from when we are pulling the sidewall and setting our edge. We want to have that extra layer of protection, and so the sidewall cutter can slide across the base. Ready? So after we've done our cleaning of the base, we've put our painter's tape on the base here. Our next step is pulling the sidewall. So we want to pull the top sheet with our bastard file. So we want to pull the top sheet so the file can touch the edge the whole way. So we want to pull the top sheet. So we want to use the bastard file this way and just run it back and forth on an angle, so you're not touching the edge, but you are just going over the top sheet. And we only want to do about this much of the top sheet because the rest becomes rounded. So we want to round it. We want to round the top sheet so it allows for the edge to slide. And so we want to do this at the tip and at the tail. So same thing. You're not touching the edge. You're on an angle like this, and just taking away that top sheet and rounding it. And then to finish, we'll get some sandpaper and we'll just clean it up so it's nice and smooth. Yeah. So as you see here, the edge and the top sheet is rounded. So when I get my file, it doesn't touch the top sheet here. It touches the edge, which will create the right angle of what the ski should be. So after we've taken away some from the top sheet, we want to get rid of the sidewall with our sidewall planer. So when we get new skis from the factory, you can see that there's the sidewall here, and there's a bit of a shelf, and we need to get rid of that shelf to allow for the file and the file guide to run across the edge, so it's not touching the sidewall, and so we can get the correct angle of the ski. When we're pulling our sidewall, we want to start at the edge of the shelf here of the sidewall, and we want to progressively take away that and then go further in and in. And then, as you can see closely here, there is a second edge. So the edge is here, and then we have the second edge here. So we want to get rid of that second edge as well. So as you get rid of this shelf here, you'll slowly see that it's quite a fine line to get rid of that second edge. And sometimes when your file isn't catching, most of the time it'll be because your second edge is too high, and you'll have to take that away so the file can grab. So when we're pulling sidewall, we want to do even, short, not putting too much pressure on the ski, just letting the sidewall do the work. So we're doing just even, short pulls. So as you can see here, guys, the shelf that you saw before is now gone, and you can see the second edge has been pulled back. Usually you can get your fingernail and you can sort of like see the contrast between the second edge and the edge. So you should be able, your nail should actually catch, so that and then you'll know that your second edge is taken down enough. After we've done our sidewall, we've taken off the top sheet, we've used our sidewall planer, and we've taken out the sidewall and the second edge. Sometimes it might be a bit bumpy, so I usually get a gummy stone or you can use anything flat, a scraper or a stone, and I wrap it in some sandpaper. And I pretty much go back and forth until I'm happy with the smoothness. There's no bumps, and you're not gonna damage the edge if you're touching the edge, so you don't have to be too perfect. But yeah, you just wanna try to get the sidewall as smooth as possible. And yeah. Okay, so after we've done, our sidewalls are done, they're pulled back enough to start our filing process. So when we're filing, we want to do, how I do it is we do one long even pass, so that the whole ski is evenly, the sharpness is the same from tip to tail. You know, the feeling will be the same, and if you want to alter the sharpness from tip to tail, I can do that after I've done my tuning. So as I said, we want to do one pass across the ski. So after every pass, we want to clean the edge so it doesn't affect our next pass. So when we are filing our edges or setting up our skis, we want to do the same amount of passes on one edge to the next. So if we're doing 15 or 10 passes on this edge, we want to do the exact same on the other edge. So throughout the season, if you hit a rock or something, you don't want to just file the one spot. We want to do the whole edge, and say we did 10 passes to get that little ding out of the edge. We want to do it to the same side. So when we've finished our edges and we want to see if they'll be sharp enough, if you run your hands over and you can feel the edge grabbing your skin, or if you feel it grabbing your nail and taking just the tip off, you'll know it's sharp. And if you're running your finger across the edge and it's smooth, there's no bumps, then you know it's sharp, it's smooth, and it's ready to go. So after we've done we've set our edge, we've made it sharp, we want to take our painter's tape off, and pretty much we'll just scrape it here. And after we've scraped, we use our bronze brush. And then to finish, we use our horsehair. This is just to polish the base, make sure it runs smoothly across the snow. So after we've scraped and brushed, made the base nice and shiny, we want to stone the edge. So after we have scraped and brushed, sometimes the edge might become dull or not as sharp as after you filed. So we just want to polish the edge and make it smooth and make sure it's super sharp. So when I first started tuning skis, when I was stoning my edges, I always used a file guide. It's the same as using the file. We want to do pass from tip to tail, and I use a red one and a green one, and this red one is a bit coarser, and we want to just run file back and forth until you think the edge is nice and smooth and it feels sharp. And then we want to use this green one to the less coarse one to just polish it off, make it nice and smooth and sharp. So after we've used our coarse and our fine stone, we want to use our ceramic stone along the base and then along the top of the edge. So you want to think like there's a 10-cent coin between the stone and the base, and you just want to run 1 or 2 passes along the base edge, and then 1 and 2 to finish off. Why we do this is because when we are filing and stoning, we might get a bit of a hangout on the base edge, and it's best to not have this so the skis will maintain the sharpness throughout the day. So as I got older and more experienced with my ski tuning, usually I didn't use, now I don't use a file guide to stone my skis. So it's the same process, but same as the ceramic stone, I'll start on the base, I'll find the angle, or you can, if you haven't done this often, you can sort of think that it might be a little 10-cent coin between the base and the stone, and you just want to run that across the base edge, and then on the top you want to find the angle and run it across the top. Same thing with the finer stone, running it across the base edge and on the side edge. And then finishing with our ceramic stone, base edge and top edge. So after we've filed, we've scraped, we've brushed, and we've stoned our edges, they're nice and sharp, they're smooth, and they're ready to go out on the hill. I'll just do a quick brush and with the horsehair just to polish the base. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to message me